Red alert, RBT, snaps and chats. Coming to you today, again, this lovely, for real deal, warm outside weather. Summer's coming. Monday, May the 12th. Coming to you to talk to you about women, empowering women. I got my homegirl on the stage here with me, or on the platform, basically. Say hi, this is Precious.
Hey, everybody.
Precious is here today because she is also under the same wavelength of things that a lot of us women are. We're trying to help each other grow and learn about each other as we grow and still promote each other. And doing all of that, sometimes we find ourselves backing off of people because some people think that we're trying to be a little more than them, but it's not that at all. I want to share every gift that I have with every woman that I know because I tell you, us as women standing strong together is better than us as women tearing each other apart. Do you think so?
Absolutely.
All right.
Building each other up is the most important thing we can do as women, especially Black women. I'm talking to us today.
All right. Let it be known.
Because it is a very bad stereotype that we can't get along.
Exactly. And speaking of, you heard her say they get along.
Yeah.
We're gonna share with y'all how long we known each other. You talking about getting along? Okay, go ahead.
So that stereotype has brought a lot of division, I think,
Yes.
between us, coupled with us not taking care of ourselves properly.
Correct.
Coupled with outside influences and relationships and all the things.
Yes.
So I think it's real important that we continue to build relationships like we have. I know a lot of people ain't known each other as long as we have.
Exactly.
But just being able to support each other, even when you haven't seen them in a long time, it don't matter.
And that's important. And a lot of people take that to heart too much. They think, oh, because I haven't talked to her today or I haven't called her today. You know, sometimes we need to take 2 steps back to get 4 steps ahead. And that don't mean you leaving someone out of your plans. It's just that you have different things in your life where you're going. And now that you're doing these things, you starting to see the day of light open for you. But think about this. When I get ahead, if you can't be there with me at that moment, don't think that I'm going to leave you behind. I'm coming to get you because that's the type of woman I am. I want to see everybody prosper and grow and be able to get out here in the world and say, you know what? That girl was already, she was down with me when I didn't have nothing. That's what I want to see. Exactly. I want to see that. I want to see that.
That is the most incredible feeling, to be able to circle back and pick up where you left off, like it was never a departure, right? So many times we separate under negative terms.
Yes.
Not even realizing it could just be a simple misunderstanding.
Conversation is always key, ladies. It's too much of negativity against us anyway in the world. So what we need to do basically is stand firm and strong together and communicate more.
Absolutely.
Without being upset or having an attitude. Don't be mad if today you didn't like what I had on today, or today you didn't like that I went somewhere without you. That should not be an issue.
And I just want to touch on communication real quick, because that is the cornerstone of a good relationship.
Yes.
A lot of times people listen to respond instead of listening to understand.
Amen.
And when you listen to respond, you're not being open to have a real conversation.
Because you've already formed a judgment or your answer to whatever's going on. You're not giving it a chance.
And you just waiting.
Like you double dutch and ready to jump up in there. Yeah.
You just waiting.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it just really, it causes more breakdown than anything.
Because
now I feel like I'm not being heard. Now I feel like you don't care. Now I feel like she just being selfish.
Yeah.
And not really thinking about how I feel.
Yep.
Instead of taking it in, processing it, and then respond.
Process, then respond. You know, a lot of times that I found out through the hard way, no matter how good you are to people, no matter how much you open up and allow them to be in your world, they always figure out one thing about you to try to hold on to and just go drag it like the crab in the barrel. Like everybody be like, oh, she's done this so well. She's done it. Oh, but do you remember when she did this? Do you remember when this? You know what? That need to stop, because every woman, even the ones that's saying that, it's got something behind them.
Exactly.
I'm not saying ignore what you have in the past, but sometimes you got to let your past pass and be done with it.
And a lot of times I think that it's just being able to accept responsibility for what you've done.
Hold yourself accountable.
Hold yourself accountable.
Mm.
And a lot of times we want to, we offend people, and then we walk away, and when we ready, we come back, and it's supposed to be all good.
And that ain't
That's
good.
not how it works.
Mm-mm.
It really should be you. When you do the separation, do some self-reflection. Think about how did I cause that?
Yes.
What was my part
Yes.
in that?
Yes.
And can I go back to her and say, I'm
Mhm.
sorry? Or
Mhm.
maybe you misunderstood what I was
Mhm.
saying, or I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
How about that? A lot of times we say things that we don't really mean, but we want you to hurt or the other person to hurt the way we are hurting on the inside.
You know, speaking of that, I'm going to say this. This just happened to me at church yesterday.
Oh.
It was a lady at church that, we were friends for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't discredit her on anything or what have you. I've tried on other occasions to interact and say, hey, to at least let you know that I don't have no animosity towards you. So it was Mother's Day. And I had the opportunity to say that to her. Even on Christmas, I had the opportunity to say Merry Christmas and give her a gift like I did everybody. Well, this day, yesterday, I said, Happy Mother's Day. She paused and didn't even look at me, not even a split second. And all she said was, ditto, and walked out. I was like, oh, well, I'm glad that I have the goodness in my heart to be able to let things go.
Mm-hmm.
And not be a prude about something and not hold anger about something that was a whole misunderstanding that's led to this. So a 30-year friendship over a misunderstanding has now been wasted because this said individual does not want to even admit her wrongs or what she did to do anything that was unjust.
Well, and I just want to tap on that a little bit.
A lot of it.
Because what I found on this journey is a lot of times, most times, it's self.
Okay.
It's self. We all go through our own things.
Correct.
At our own time. Again, she may not want to accept responsibility for what she did say. I don't know the situation.
No, that's fair to say. That's fair. That's
but
fair.
Maybe she's not ready. She's not in that place. And that's something we as women, we think when we ready, everybody else got to be ready.
Right. That's why I'm okay with it and was able to say my piece, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times. I had the opportunity to make peace, and I did. I'm not saying that the relationship was going to be back like it was before, because there was too many things tarnished in the inside of it, basically due to a misunderstanding. But the whole fact is, I'm okay with that. I'm okay that we would probably never be that way, but I'm not going to discredit and say, talk bad about you or put you down or not even acknowledge you when you walk in the room. That's not my character. And I refuse to let that person or anybody bring me to that level, because my job, what I'm trying to do is empower other women.
And that's just it.
And I think it could be something about what I'm doing that I move past.
Again, that's self. That's self. Jealousy is a self problem.
Okay.
Envy is a self problem. That's issues on the inside of you that you have to fix, because I can't support you if I'm jealous of you.
True that.
So what is this in me?
True
this
that.
is the question, ladies. What is in me that's triggering from what you're doing? What is making me feel, because nobody can make you do anything.
Right.
Not make you feel, make you fail, make you succeed. Nobody can make you do anything. You choose.
Oh,
you choose to feel the way that you do.
All right.
So one of the things I always do and hold myself accountable for, when something pop off, is okay, Precious, what did you say? What did you do?
That's me.
Why are you feeling this way? Why does that trigger you so much? Because I still have triggers too. You said the wrong thing and I'm back at 15, right? Like, wait a minute.
Well, I'm going to tell you, ladies, if y'all out there listening, we got some heavy questions. We got some answers for you. Give us a call at 248-820-5053. We downtown Flint at Out of the Mud Inc. Y'all know how I do it. Whoop, whoop, getting it out of the mud. Giving a shout out to George F. Grundy II for allowing me to do this. And also to James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield, for allowing this to happen as well. Also to Larry Lott, to sit up here and also do the same thing I'm doing. I want to give a shout out to all the podcasters, every last one of y'all. Wish I still knew all y'all names of y'all shows. I'm still working on getting that so I can shout you out. And I'm gonna get one more shout out here to MUA Jock for all your beauty needs and makeup. Give her a chance to check her out. They got the proms coming up. You got homecoming, I think. You got all these after school things,
It's wedding
weddings,
season.
all this stuff. Come on, y'all, look her up. If you can check her out at www.makeupismylife.com. And that's
Ooh, I like
MUA
that.
Jock. Okay. And
So we got Jerry Brown
all right.
saying it's childish and shows lack of growth and maturity, and also you will never propose pur- purpose. You will never prosper. Excuse me. You will never prosper until you let go and let God, and then they feel that way because they're not meeting their goals in
Mm,
life and not where they want to be in life.
kind of what you said.
It's a
So,
personal problem they have to deal with.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I can
Absolutely,
accept hearing
Jerry.
it. Jury.
Thanks, Jerry.
It's jury.
Oh, is it?
That's
Oh,
jury.
it's Jerry. Hey, Jerry.
But yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. And you know, and I'm gonna say, like you said, I wasn't always this way.
Absolutely.
And I get
You
it. I
know.
get it. I'm not trying to force anybody to be that way or feel that
Mhm.
because I've changed, that like you said, that you're ready to change. It doesn't matter who you are. I just feel like I'm at peace with myself because I made peace with the situation. I
Mhm.
tried to band-aid the thing and let the situation let it go. But as women, empowering women, I don't want negative things to keep holding me back because I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel like every day when I wake up and smile, say thank you Jesus for waking me up, put breath in my body, allow me to do your wills.
Mhm.
I will get out this bed and make it happen. Whatever I have to do the will
You
of
about to
God.
make me shout up in here.
Girl, hey, shout out, I'll do it. So usually I start out with a poem of my own, but I found something that I have in my house as a little plaque, and I decided to put it on paper because I really want to share this with today's show.
Okay.
It is called, and this is a quote by Barbara J. Burrow, not Barbara the Belly, not Barbara the Belly, y'all. I'm talking about Barbara J. Burrow. Make sure it's confirmation.
It
Barbara J.
is. That's what it
Burrow.
say.
That's what it says. It's called That Woman is a Success,
Come on now.
who loves life and lives it to the fullest, who has discovered and shared the strengths and talents that are uniquely her own, who puts her best into each task and leaves each situation better than she found it,
Mhm.
who seeks and finds that which is beautiful in all people and all things, whose heart is full of love and warm with compassion, who has found joy in living in peace within herself. That is quoted from, again, Barbara J. Burrow. I have this as a plaque in my house,
Mhm.
and I read that. It's in my office. And I started manifesting this a little more when I really wanted to push my books
Mhm.
because I felt that I can't force nobody to read what I write,
Absolutely.
but I'm writing from the purity of my heart, what the gift that God gave me to do.
Mhm.
And it has touched many of people, and I've got a good response. But I want a lot of our viewers to know that also that you have books that you
Absolutely.
have put out there to help motivate. See, my books is motivating, inspiring, inspirational, and uplifting in the spiritual way to help
Mhm.
you heal from within. And tell us about your books.
My books are more transformative. I focus on really changing life. Like I just got to give y'all a little backstory before we move forward. I know you're gonna get to it, but
No, go right
in
ahead.
order for them to really understand where I come from as far as empowering other women, Terralisa and I have been friends since I was 15 years old.
Yes.
Life happened, we separated, I moved away, then I came back home, and although we don't hang like we used to, we're still really good friends.
Yes, we are.
I was a
Facts.
beast back in the day.
Her too, right here.
Yeah, that's why we hung so much. But I was a mess. When I say a beast, I mean,
Oh, I know.
was what it was, but at the same time, I was mentally and emotionally a mess.
Mm-hmm. Ditto.
So when I after coming out of the divorce, I began to write. And in that writing, I began to see me change.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
because of that, I stuck with it, because I'm like, okay, if I can change from what I was, how I was, because I wasn't supporting no other woman. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I wasn't supporting nobody. It was about Precious, period.
Right.
And if you just so happen to get caught up in what I'm doing, then good for you. If not,
I was a little bit on the fence a little, but I hear you.
Yeah, but no, I wasn't. I was, you was my friend, so we was in. But if you was out, you was out.
I got it.
And as I began to write and really pay attention to behaviors that I had,
Ooh,
that I did not like,
that's a key word right
that
there.
I
For
didn't
me,
even know I
behaviors.
had, until I began, my very first book was The Process of Change, A Look at Me. Looking at self is not pretty.
Mm-mm. That's why a lot of people can't look at themselves in the mirror.
It is. And when I began to look at me, who I was at my core, I didn't like it. So I said, okay, Lord, how we change this? Because I know if I don't change this, nothing else will change.
That's right.
Once I started changing me and shifting how I talked,
Amen,
and what I believed, what I
it
felt,
all starts within.
it all starts with self. Your enemy is your inner me.
Yep. We've been
Somebody
saying
gonna
that.
get that on their way home.
Uh-huh. Say it one more time.
Your enemy is your inner me.
Mufasa. Say it again.
Not Mufasa.
Say it again.
Listen, when you deal with, no, seriously though, but when you start to deal with, and I'm talking all the way down to childhood hurts.
Yes.
When you start dealing with those abandonment issues, those rejection issues, those lies that you've told yourself, the lies that other people have told you, all of the things of life. When you start to deal with it, and it's not going to be, I can deal with everything at one time. It's, I'm going to deal with this right now. The immediate for me was the way I talked, because it came off abusive to my children.
Okay.
So I started with the things that I said.
My kids used to say to me, Mama, especially my daughter, she'd say all the time, well, you can't just, it's not that we don't want to hear what you're saying. It's just the way you saying it. You don't always have to be that way. And I was like, well, that's just the way I am. That's the way I talk. And then it took me several years before I realized what you're saying is to reevaluate myself, look at my children as young adults, and not just my property,
You belong to me.
Yeah, like it's my property. God gave them to me, and I need to give them back to God. So I had to allow them to bump their heads and grow up and understand without me hovering over them and being extra. It took a while. But basically, when them grandbabies started coming out, that's what changed me. I keep saying this, and I mean it. Gene said to me, he said, Mom, you know what? If me and Dree did something like that, you would have got after us. You just let them kids do everything. It ain't that I let them do everything. It's just I'm more patient. I have, like I said,
matured in many, many ways.
I'm not holier than thou. Thou is holier in me.
Yeah, exactly.
I changed because of the things that I'm learning and where the path I'm going on. I changed from within because I wanted to be better. I didn't want to be that angry Terralisa. Trouble is what most people know me as, or Terrible Lisa. I didn't want. She's still in here. Trust and believe.
Yeah, she sleep. She
sleep. I had to rock a bye, baby. I tell people this all the time. Don't poke the bear. But everybody has that fire inside of them that they try to lay dormant, and it takes one thing for somebody to bring it out. One of my co-hosts before said it's like a Coke bottle syndrome. You walk around all day, everybody shaking your Coke bottle. And then one person say something, they might say, that's a pretty top. You're like, I don't want to hear about that top, and you just blow up, But the thing is, it's hard to just wake up and not be who you are. So the best thing to do is to always be better at what you do.
So I want to touch on that real quick. Be who you are.
All right.
Right? Because a lot of times we don't know. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who Precious was. I knew who people told me I was. I know the things I did that shaped what looked like me, right? I know how I felt, but I didn't really know who I was brought on this earth to be, right? Who God called me to be at my core, right? There you go.
Letters to my Lord. Who am I?
Exactly.
Because I want to know just what you said.
And that is a question you have to ask. And everybody's like, I know who I am. I'm XYZ person. I'm a mom. I'm this. I'm that. I'm the CEO. I'm this. Those are titles.
Amen.
Those are titles. They are not who you are. Who I am at my core, I'm a loving, caring individual. I am a supporter of other women, especially Black women. I am a lover of all things fun. Right?
Yes.
That's who I am.
And you love to laugh.
I do.
A good Harley laugh.
A good Harley. I mean, down from your gut. Make you bend over and hold yourself. I love to laugh. I like to have fun. I like to play in the rain. All the things.
My cousin was just talking about she wanted to skip, and she was holding her man's hand, skipping down the sidewalk. And I said, "Don't let nobody tell you can't skip. I don't care how old you are."
And listen, I like acting like a kid. I do. I have more fun. Because when we were kids, we didn't appreciate that time.
Ooh, and now we're trying to get it back.
You hear me?
You know what I'm saying? Look, y'all, I know if any of you out there that's listening, you might have a question or two, but I'm sure that you know for a fact what shapes you, what shaped your life.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the woman you really want to be? Are you the woman that God called you to be? Are you the woman that's out here helping to motivate and support and uplift other women? If you are, I want to hear from you, because I know I am. I wasn't always like that, but now I know who I am.
Absolutely.
I am that woman. I'm that woman that will give the shirt off my back to help another woman in need. I will make sure that if you were around me in my vicinity and you didn't have it, you ain't got to worry about it. And I ain't finna let everybody know that you didn't have it, because you ain't gonna sit here and look ridiculous around me. I'm gonna make sure that you look good while you with me too. And I ain't gonna tell nobody, oh yeah, I had to do that. I'm not that girl. I'm not. I've never been. But I used to be the one to be like, oh, you ain't got it, well then don't come with me. Now it's, oh, that's okay. Come on, hang with me. I want you to hang out, experience this. I want people to see the experience of life with other women looking out for them, helping them, supporting them. I've never asked any woman I've ever been there to be there to help her. I've never asked them, I need it back. If you give it back to me, that's fine. If you don't, look out for me another time. Exactly. You know, that's just how I am. So give us a call, 248-820-5053. And we want to hear what you got to say.
Well, you got a few comments here
go
anyway.
right ahead.
So, how you pronounce her name again?
Jury
Brown said, I tell you all the time, jealousy. I tell you all the time that jealousy is a form of mental illness. It arises from comparing themselves to others and their achievements, and it triggers disorders like anxiety, personality disorder, and even delusional disorder. You keep doing the work God put you here to do, and forget the negativity. And then Jeree said, "Love y'all." Tamika Buford said, "Self-awareness is the greatest gift we can give ourselves." And also, drop some gems. Your enemy is the enemy.
All right, drop some gems. Quoting you on that one.
And then Jeree said, replying to Tamika Buford, yes, I love it. And then Jeree also said he ain't lying. Would have been under 6 foot under. Jeree. And where can we get copies of your book, Tamika Thomas?
Your book.
My book? Oh, all of my books. If you go to linktree.com, I'm at Greatness and Bloom, and just click on Empower Her Books, and all of the books will pop up. Everything I've ever done.
All right.
So
and Tamika's also an empowering woman. That's why I'm saying it's a lot of women out there. I know if y'all listening, connect with us, because that's what's going to make us stronger. A unity of women who are empowering other women. When women see that, they be like, "Oh yeah, I want to be a part of that. Exactly. I want to do that," and then that gives them the notion to go out and do that to the next woman.
And I want to talk real quick to the one that may be out there saying, "Yeah, that sounds good," but here I strongly encourage you, if you're on the fence about, I've been done wrong by women, because that's a lot of it. We feel like we've been crossed, we've been put in situations. But if that is you, I encourage you, just tonight, if you don't do nothing else, ask yourself, what was my part?
Ooh, That was
What was my
deep.
part?
Get your band-aids out. You heard her.
What was my part? And when you go through the scenario, because it take two to tango. We all have a part. Whether we said something snippy, whether we didn't respond when they said something, we all have a part. What was your part in whatever situation that is causing you to not support other women? What was your part? And if you were, and don't get it twisted, because sometimes we are just flat out done wrong, right? I'm not negating that. I'm not saying that that's not true. But if there is anything in you saying, I don't want to support other women, or we don't say it in that way, we just, yeah, whatever,
Or get the chicken neck.
or get the chicken neck, the goose neck, whatever you want to call it. But what's triggering you?
Mhm.
Something in you is being triggered when you see other women supporting women, because it's easier to do this than it is to stay like this.
And you know, like I'll see a woman have something nice on, her hair may be nice, and I'll be like,
you
"Oh,
cute,
that's
girl.
nice, girl. I like that." And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's what's up," you know. But some of them, I've been across women. You tell them that, they look at you like yeah, girl. I'm just giving you a compliment. I ain't trying to come
And
on to
it's
you and
okay
none of
for
that.
if they don't
I'm
respond,
like, what
because
the
guess what?
heck?
It's water off my back. I'm gonna keep on moving.
Well,
Right.
Kuyana Hughes said accountability.
Kiana who used? Oh,
Kiana,
hey.
thanks, Kiana.
All right. Yes,
Absolutely.
accountability.
Staying accountable. That is number one thing.
Number one.
You want to get to the point where you can support other women and just other people in general. We talking about women tonight, but it's a lot of hate out there right now, right? Let's just
Red
talk
alert,
about
red alert.
It's a lot of hate out there, and it's coming from, we getting it from all different ways, whether we light skinned, we dark skinned, we too fat, we too skinny, all the things. We got this image that we
She
want to
country.
portray. Yeah, I'm country.
No, I'm talking about. Oh, I know you walk with your shoes off all the time. That's real country.
My shoes is off right now. What?
They sure is, dog.
But
keeping it real.
But when you just start focusing on self and you begin to shift, I'm telling you, everything in your world changes.
Yes, it does.
Everything.
I hold
have
myself
the
accountable.
best relationship with my kids now.
Me
because
too.
I did that self inventory. Because let me tell y'all this story. Can I tell the story? Let me tell y'all this story. I was going to the gym. Yeah, I'm a little fluffy, but I was going to the gym. Anyway, and this one particular day, I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and we was talking, and I had got on the treadmill. And she said to me, she was like, because I asked her, well, why didn't you tell me that? And she was like, Mama, I don't tell you nothing because you're so judgmental. When I say that crushed me. I was hyperventilating on the treadmill. I had to get off because I couldn't even breathe. It was like she gut punched me.
I didn't have that conversation
That was
before.
a moment I had to reflect, like, oh my goodness, what am I doing that projects judgment?
I'm telling you, they done got me like that.
So this is real. What we talking about right now, I hope y'all out there understand how serious it is to just self-reflect.
That's all you need to do.
If you just focus on you 50% of the time and stay out of other folks' business, the other 50%, you 100% be better. Period. That is just the way the world works. When we focus on self, everything around you change. When I first started this journey, again, writing the process of change, is 3 different workbooks, and I give y'all all the questions that I ask myself in order to begin that process of change. And in it, I share one particular instance where it was, I had held on to a lie so long.
Ooh.
And it was a lie. Well, it wasn't a lie. It was something my dad told me, but it never happened. So to me, I felt like he's a liar, right? And I tarnished that relationship so bad because I thought he lied to me.
I got you.
When in essence, once I was like, that happened when I was like 8. When I was about 26, we had the conversation. So look how much time was lost over me thinking he lied to me. And he was like, Santi, he calls me Santi. He said, Santi, I just didn't remember. Why didn't you say anything? And see, a lot of times
Yeah.
we think another person know
Yes.
how we
And
feel.
we're not mind readers.
Exactly. Know how we feel, know what we thinking, and we never address it. And now I'm feeling some type of way, as we say. And he didn't even remember what he had told me. And I never said anything.
And see, and I'm always the one I will overthink faster than anybody. I don't know if it's credible to my sign or just to me, but I'm telling you, I will overthink something really quick. But I'm also, while I'm overthinking, I'm watching and paying attention to my tone. But every once in a while, when I'm overthinking, because I'm asking over and above questions about what I'm overthinking, sometimes people think it is irritating to them. But to me, it's not irritating because I want to know.
Right.
I need to know. Tell me now. I need to know. And if you can't tell me, then I feel you're holding something from me. And then I had to realize that maybe they don't really know. Maybe they don't know how to express themselves. Maybe everybody don't think like you, Terralisa. You can't just assume.
That's a key.
But everybody don't think.
Everybody
they don't
think like you.
You can't assume that because I think this is what it is. So I have to be mindful that, yes, first and foremost, I am going to stand true to my word and what I believe. Somebody's got to prove me wrong. But I learned to be more lenient about them proving me wrong instead of be like, no, not giving them a chance, thinking and speaking before I can adhere what they're saying. I had to learn to calm myself. And when I did that, I found out I was about 60% on the up and up good, the right part of it. I wasn't always 100% perfect about it,
right.
But I'm okay. I've lived with that and I'm okay with that. But I know, yes, sir.
GP on YouTube said, "Loving this, ladies."
All right, GP. That's Gwen.
Oh, Gwen. All right, Gwen. Hey, girl. You know I was finna share our story, but I'll come back to it. Go
okay.
ahead.
So, Precious, today I want to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
How important, I know we've been speaking about a lot of things, but I want to give a direct answer here, a question and an answer. How important is it for women to empower each other?
I think women empowering each other is one of the most important things we can do as a society. As a collective, being Black women, as a collective, being women in general, and then broader, right? And I think that because I know we've been trained that we can do it ourselves, but we cannot.
No, we can't.
We cannot.
I had to learn that too. I thought I was tough. Just tomboy girl, tough, cowgirl, country, everything. Just I can do it myself. I don't need this help. And then I realized, wait a minute. I'm forcing people away from me and pushing them away from me by being this too independent.
Yeah.
It's okay to be independent, but sometimes you need to realize that you do need another verbal opinion, or you do need another way to look at things.
And sometimes you just need somebody to listen. That's not going to comment
or judge.
That's not going to give you any advice. I just want to get it off my chest. I don't want you to, and that's one of the things, somebody come to me, the first thing I'm saying, okay, what do you want me to do with this information? Like, do you want something from me, or is it you just need to unload? Because
that makes sense.
I'll function differently. If you looking for me to give you some advice, I'm listening to key things that you're saying. If you just want to unload, it's going in this ear and coming out this one, and I'm not going to remember what you said because you don't want me to do anything with it.
Right.
If it
that was powerful. That's powerful.
Okay.
No, that is. Because too many of us hold that stuff in and feel like now it becomes our problem.
Yeah, no. I ain't picking up nobody else's stuff. My dad used to tell me that all the time as a kid. Quit picking up other people's stuff. And I'm thinking, I ain't picking nothing up. But really, honestly, it's when you mad at somebody, you come to me fussing, now I'm ready to fight. Like, that don't have nothing to do with me.
That's what I'm talking
that's
about.
How we was.
Yeah, look, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, we did.
Yeah.
One of the stories, I'm going to say this, and this is why I'm so thankful that my life has changed. I did the most illest thing, and this is a testimony, y'all, for women empowering women. The reason why we should do this. I was young and hanging out on Elma. And a couple girls came over. It was this guy that I liked, and he also liked other women. And he would tell all of us different things or whatever. And this one particular day, all of us just happened to be in front of this one house. And this tomboy girl was like, well, I don't care about them. I'm going to do this anyway. And one of the girls said something smart, and I'm tough. I just took off and ran, jumped on the hood of her car. It
I
was
remember that
parked,
day.
but she was in it with the key in the ignition. I jumped on the hood of her car, stomped on the glass hood shit window, jumped on the hood till it was caving in. She could have took off and
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
whatever. She could. I got witnesses. She could have took off, and I could have flew off this car, all because didn't want her there for the guy who wanted all the women that were there. But
not me. He didn't want me. I didn't want him either.
You wanted to beat him up.
Let's be very clear.
He wanted to beat him up several times. But the thing is, I was stupid and I was young, but it wasn't the fact that I'm up here trying to say, oh, yeah, well, I'm not his girlfriend. You're not his girlfriend. So, okay, well, he's all of our friend or whatever. Instead of me being subtle about it and like, okay, well, if he wanted her, I should have just let him do what he's going to do, because that's what guys do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was hating on her for being there. I didn't want her there because I didn't have a car. She had a car. He didn't have a car. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's when I knew then that I didn't want to be that person. Mm-hmm. I could have been out of here off of the crazy stunts of foolishness that I did, not wanting to embrace the empowerment of another woman. Mm-hmm. She might have had something more in tune with him than I did. I just didn't want that to happen because I was being selfish. I wasn't looking at it for what it was worth. Mm-hmm. And if she's out there listening, I'm sorry, girl, that I did that. I know that was about 40 years ago.
It was
40 years ago. Sorry. But hey, I'm my testimony. I'm confessing. That's what you're supposed to confess with your wrongs.
And listen, I don't have a problem with that. It takes that long to heal.
Yes.
Listen, one thing I learned coming out of my first divorce, I had a marriage and then I had a second set of nuptials. So y'all will hear those terms. So the first marriage coming out of that, one of the things I realized is that I done lost my thought.
Something about empowering, about being upset and doing things out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I still lost it, y'all. Right. It'll come back to me, and when I do, I give it to you.
But again, give us a call, 248-820-5053. I know you may be a little lenient about what you want to share with us today, but that's fine. But I know that we're not the only women here. Just pick and choose some.
On the Facebook. Okay, y'all. We're gonna go to the comments.
Oh shoot. See, mine gonna do that if I do that. Uh-oh.
That's big. Volume Confession down. Makes the heart better. That's so true. Yes, especially in the Black community, being taught you don't need this or that, and you have to unlearn those behaviors. Absolutely. And I just want to touch on that real quick, because we have to understand that we come from environments, right? So our environments were similar. My household was a little different because I had two parents there, and you had your father there,
yes,
right?
My dad, yep.
And so even though we were in similar situations, we were very different.
And an age gap.
But what brought us together was the trauma, right? Mm-hmm. All of the things we had been through and the things we were still going through as friends. And a lot of times we attach ourselves to people because of the trauma.
Yes.
The same trauma. Yes. Whereas women empowering women, you attach yourself for the positive.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what we're promoting.
Exactly. So if you just want to do an inventory of your relationships, okay? Your friendships, your intimate relationships,
your relationship with God.
Your relationship with God.
Yes.
And you're checking that out, like, really start to dig into, why am I a part of this?
Yes.
And
what part do I play in this?
And what part do I play in it? Why am I continuing to allow myself to go through XYZ thing? Mm-hmm. Right? For me, it was, why do I keep allowing myself to stay with somebody that's cheating on me? that I know is cheating. You see what I'm saying? That was a self thing. That was because I wasn't sure of who Precious was.
Right.
Who am I without him?
I was going to bring up something about you saying to me that finding another way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things, and that was another one. That was another instance that came to mind when Terralisa and I first met. We were in high school. We were in economics class. I shared this at one of her events. We were
Yes.
in home ec class. I know most of y'all probably don't even know what home ec is.
Because they don't even do that anymore. Come on, Flint, get it back.
Get it back. Skill center, all the things, right? But we were in home ec and we were making shirts, and my shirt wasn't turning out. It was the Garden Got Trail. You remember that old Garden Got Trail? That's what it was. So my shirt wasn't turning out too right. And I was all upset and flustered. And Tara looked at me, and I swear you probably don't even understand how I see that you live this thing out. And she looked at me, she was like, well, do something different. And like said it like all just matter of fact, right? Just do something different. And I've watched you over the years. That is like the core of you.
Mm-hmm.
If it don't work, I'm gonna do something different.
Mm-hmm.
If this don't work, I'm gonna do something different. When it came time for me to really leave the marriage, I heard you in my ear that night, standing on the balcony. It was a whole near-death experience that brought me to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was over, after everything had happened, I was over to my little sister's house and I was standing on her balcony. That was the first time I ever heard the leaves rustle. Right? It was the first time I could taste the air because I had a new appreciation for life at that point.
Yes, ma'am.
Because my life was almost gone that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I could hear you so clear, like we was in home ec class.
Mm-hmm.
Do something different.
I got one for you.
And I was like, whoa, she's still coming back. And here we are.
We're doing something different.
We're
both
different.
authors. We're both loving grandmothers. We're both loving parents who have learned to appreciate our children more and give them space. And here we are still empowering one another. And I'm going to tell you something that I've been waiting for this day to share this with you. And I'm going to promise not to be emotional. But if I do, y'all forgive me.
I already see the tears in your eyes. I didn't know what it was for, though.
So a while ago, my cousin, we were getting ready to, do her service, her homegoing. Mm-hmm. And I had been away from church for such a long time. And this one particular day, you were in that church with me. Mm-hmm. And the pastor asked, as they normally do, with someone, if you want to give yourself to the Lord and become a part of the church. And it had been a while had I been to a church. Well, that day I went up there because our conversation. And Precious said to me, she said, girl, she said, all I do now, I'm staying focused on what true to me. I allow God to lead my footsteps and guide me. And I thought about that. And again, I watched you. I watched you leave Flint, go out and be successful, come back to Flint and still on your feet. And that next time I saw you, I told you I had joined the church. Mm-hmm. And you cried with me and said, thank you, Jesus. I knew it was in you. You finally made your way home. Mm-hmm. You remember that day when we had that conversation?
I do.
And I have not turned back from following the calling, as I wrote in this book here, Faith Through Poetry, God's Will. Mm-hmm. Because I could not give up on myself. I was thankful for friends like you and family that stood by me, and myself going through my trials and tribulations, mm-hmm. my heartaches, my painful, emotional, embarrassing moments, being mm-hmm. married and mm-hmm. fighting and mm-hmm. feuding. I've been through all that too. And I had to remind myself the same thing I reminded you. Do something different. And so doing something different for me was, Terralisa, wake up, smell the coffee, get yourself together. You got this to do. You got this. You got work to do. This. It's not over.
As long as you got breath in your body, it is not over.
It is not over.
I don't care how old you are. My journey started my transformation started at 36. I am now 52. And it's still boggles my mind sometimes when God like, okay, now we ready to tap on this thing right here, and it's like, dang, we still got more. You will always have more.
Always.
You always have time. As long as you have breath in your body, I believe everybody here was called to do a thing. You have to decide if you want to do that thing you were called
exactly. For. And if you don't be disobedient. He has a way of getting your attention and make you see that this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your path. And if you're afraid of your calling, you ain't gonna never start seeing your bridges falling. You got to start paying attention to the signs and moving forward and stay true to yourself and help motivate, uplift other people. And we're empowering women right now. But if you know a man out here, I just went to a sobriety in Christ event last weekend, and he does men motivating men. Shout out to Dante Lott for that. He does men motivating men, and I've been watching a lot of things that he's doing on the internet, and I'm impressed by that. But I'm also saying, hey, why can't we women do that? I'm always thinking about empowering other women, because I can get on the phone any minute right now and just start talking to somebody and listening to them, and I'm like you now. You want me to process this, or you want me to just be the shoulder that you need to vent to cry on, because I'm okay with that, because I might need you to listen to me.
Absolutely.
Because we all got something.
I want to circle back to the motivating yourself.
Yes.
Real quick. Because we're talking about women empowering women and how we hold each other up and support each other. And sometimes I know there was a time in my life where I didn't feel like I could motivate myself, let alone anybody else. Right. And if you are in that space of feeling like, yeah, all that sounds good, but I got too much going on. This is happening, that is happening. One of the things you can do to reconnect with your source. Now, I say your source. Let's be very clear. I believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And that's what it is. You may call it something else. So your source, right? One way to reconnect to source is by getting in earth. Meaning, take your shoes off and go stand in the grass.
Oh, yes.
Go hug a tree. It'll feel funny at first. But guess what? You are connecting and you are able to release some things. Give yourself permission to cry. Give yourself permission to not be bothered. Give yourself permission to feel how you feeling, because your feelings are valid. Don't make it right or wrong. And it is what it is, but feel your feelings. I think so much of the disconnect comes because we've been trained from little kids. Stop that crying.
Yep. Straighten
your face up. We weren't allowed to feel. I don't know about y'all, but in my house, you wasn't gonna do no whole bunch of crying. Straighten up. And that took away our power to feel.
We command it all back. Shout out to Marquita.
Come on, command
it all back.
So just take some time. Little things. It's the little things. I know everybody looking for this grand thing to happen. It's not gonna be grand. It's gonna be a little at a time. Something gonna start changing. Before you know it, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't even do that no more.
I did that with
I don't even say that no more.
My publicist, Tamika Buford. She does these vision boards, and I went to one just Saturday. On my first one I did with her was I think it was 2020 or 2021, and then it was just a small board. I put some things on there, and then I did one 2 years after that with her in 23. And I said, wow, they both in my room on the wall. So I look at the one where I did first, and I'm remembering where my life was at and what I put on that board to visualize, to manifest. And then I look at the newer one in 23, and I'm like, wow, I really transformed into this. So then I kept telling her, you got to do another one. I said, because it's time for me to move again. I got to change. I'm on the next level. I'm on the next journey. So I went to the one she did, and I looked at that one today. And it didn't have as many things all over it like my first two did.
Yep.
But when I tell you some powerful things I put on there, and mainly one of them was love. What is it worth? Protect, family and youth. And I'm thinking about that because that I'm like, oh, that's the next level for me because that's what I'm working with now. Working more so with that, like wanting to surround myself
Mm-hmm.
with more powerful, empowering women. And that's another thing. That's a good shout out for you all out there. Is surround yourself. Again, that's
Mm-hmm.
another challenge. Start being around people that's motivated to do something, not just want to sit around all day doing nothing. You know,
Or they want to keep you in mess.
correct.
I want to touch on those vision boards real quick because they are real.
They're
Like
powerful.
they are powerful. I do vision boards once a quarter
Okay.
because I want to see certain things in my business. I want to see certain things in my work life. I want to see
All
certain
right.
things
I didn't think about that.
in my relationships. So it just depends on what's happening in that quarter that I want to see come to reality,
Manifesting.
right? Because we got to believe in what's believing. You thinking it, you
You got
got
to
to
believe it
speak
before you see
You
it.
got to believe it before you see it. So once I believe that I can do this thing, I'm gonna put it on the board. I'm gonna, watch and it makes you move different.
Yeah, and like you said, a few minutes later, you look back like, oh wow,
I don't even do that no more.
yeah,
I don't go there no more. I don't have this urge. I don't all the right. So when you're doing a vision board, be intentional. It's not just pretty pictures. It's
exactly.
really, what do you want to see your life look like? Ask yourself, okay, what do I want this phase of my life? In the next 6 months, what do I want to see different in my life? In the next 2 weeks, what do I want to see different in my home, in my relationship,
Ooh,
in whatever it is that you're doing? And when you stay consistent in doing that, then you will begin to see the change. And the more you do it, the more change you'll see. And you'll notice that more and more of you is beginning to emerge.
the better you.
The better you, the best part of you. I have a picture that I was an MC at this conference. Shout out to Mary Mitchell Davis, Pin the Profit. And at the conference, she had a paint night, a sipping paint night.
Okay.
And it was of this woman. Now all you got was the figure, right? But of course, I see who I'm coming,
I like doing
who
them
I'm
paintings.
becoming, right?
Yes.
And so I was painting, and as I'm painting, I see her form, right? And now I have that picture at the end at my door in my bedroom. So every morning when I wake up, I'm looking at her.
That's right.
Because that's where I'm going.
Exactly.
And so I have to move like she would move in order to get to where she is, right? And in doing so, I'm able to reach back and say, "Come on, girl.
I know
Come
that's
on.
right.
I know it's tough right now. I know you got some things going on. I know how it is to be somewhere and just feel trapped. But
That's a
if
good
you
one.
have
Feeling trapped.
that visual of what you're working towards, you will
Mhm.
feel less and less trapped.
So, I can't see all of your
I can.
questions. Read some of them because I can't. I want to answer some of them when I can't see them.
This about to be my next mission, a vision board. I already got my board. Come through.
All right, Kiana. Yes.
Come on, Kiana.
Tamika, I hope you're still listening. That might be something we need to get all involved with.
Absolutely. Jeree said you can only protect your family so much, though. You come first. Trying to protect and worry about others too much will put you in an early grave. You telling the truth,
Yes,
right
that
there.
is absolutely correct. Women empowering women. See, we got different views from different women out here that's calling in and texting in and letting us know that they're out there listening because this is something serious for us all. Precious. So today, why do you think women put down other women?
That goes back to what we was talking about earlier. Self issues. I think that a lot of times when we don't know who we are, we try to make others conform to what we want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't do it, now I got a problem with you.
Okay.
Now you acting funny.
Mm-hmm.
Or you think you all that. When really it's just, this is who she is and this is where I am, and maybe right now is not the best time for us to be around each other because we on two different wavelengths. A lot of times we try to force relationship.
They do that with the monogamous relationship too. People try to force that.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you just gotta throw in the towel, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. And
save your mentality, save your strength, your energy. Save all of that because you're going to need it to help lift yourself back up.
Mm-hmm.
You've been
Absolutely.
tore down too long. So what? When do you find time to relax or enjoy yourself?
Every day, all day.
Every day, all day.
Even when I'm at that place that I don't want to be. One one of the things that I am big on is instrumental and meditative music.
Music.
So if because music, I'm gonna just go here real quick. Music is a key to a shift in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
The devil was the head musician, right? We
Mm-hmm.
gonna go there. He was the head musician. Why was he over music? He had this big old harp like chest, and he just belted out tunes, right? That's why music is pushed the way that it is, because it's conforming us to what they want to see. Now all of the songs is about sex, drugs, all the things, right? and
Mm-hmm.
and what are our kids running to? Sex, drugs, and all the things.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Say it,
Whereas
girl.
if you're listening to a tune, and it goes deeper, because uh, music is vibration, and it has different levels
Mm-hmm.
of intensity of the vibration. But that's another day, that's another
I heard
podcast.
this gospel song. Shout out to Tim. He has a song out called "Try Me."
Mm-hmm.
And I had the opportunity to hear it before it actually came out, but now it's out, and I'm gonna let you get a chance to hear it. I'm sending it to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's a gospel song, and it's really uplifting, and it sounds great, and it's more modernized.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not telling everybody to get out and run out and go listen to gospel music. That's gonna soothe your life, but you need to listen to better music than the music that's causing you to run to sex, drugs,
And
murder.
mm-hmm. And
You
that's what
know,
I'm saying, like
holding clout.
that space of, you ask me what how do I get there, that space of just hearing the sound.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk outside and just face the sun, put my face in the sun, and it'll reset me. But I've been doing this for a while now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for those out there that you like reset, yes,
Oh
you can
yeah.
reset your emotions. You all upset, tired. Okay, prime example. Today, I didn't give him a little TikTok tea, and I was a little upset about that, right? Spent $30 on this TikTok tea. They said they deliver it. I haven't seen it. Whatever. As I'm riding here, I'm like, okay, Precious, you can either be pissed off about this tea not coming, or you can say, somebody got a blessing. Somebody else needed it.
Ooh, that was deep right there.
And so I chose, okay, somebody else got a blessing. And I was coming out of Pearl Vision because I had to get my focus fixed.
All right
I
now.
was coming out of Pearl Vision, and I looked up and seen Ross. I said, Lord, I just want a couple shirts for work. Went in there, got 3 shirts for not even $30, because I released the anger over that
Release.
tea. Right?
Release.
So he said, okay, you didn't get what you wanted at first, but now I'm gonna give you what you want now.
Mm-hmm.
It is really that simple. When you just begin to embrace all, like he
I
has
read
given,
that in my
God
poem on
has given
Sunday.
us so many tools.
Yep. You gotta
So
release.
many tools. You that releases everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was upset at work. I'm like, no, y'all did not send my tea. I'm calling the bank. I'm doing all the things right. And it dawned on me, I was coming out of the parking lot, and I'm like, okay, now you gonna waste all this energy.
Yep.
Come
I,
to the podcast with a whole different attitude, right?
I've done that
Or
before.
you can just let it go. I'm gonna give you something else you want, and you're gonna have a good time on the podcast.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
we empowering women.
Women empowering women.
Yes.
So I hope you all enjoyed our show today. I'm gonna get Precious back on here another time. We still gonna be talking about
Yes.
empowering women always because of the connection that we have. And I'm gonna get a chance to hold a couple of your books up right quick before we conclude today's episode.
This is 2 and 3 of the set. I've given away all of the first one, which is The Process of Change and Look at Me. Then The Process of Change, Love Yourself, and Moving Forward. Because it is a process to do each one.
Exactly. What else you got over there?
This is one of the anthologies I did. Transition, Ashes, Emanating Beauty. We all shared stories of our coming out period, our coming out of that darkness
Mm-hmm.
that we were cloaked with. What is that story and how did it change? And then we give tips on how you can do the same. And then this
All
one
right.
is the CEO Success Life and Business Journal to help you get some structure. A lot of times
Structure.
we just don't have structure, the structure that we need to operate optimally
Yeah, we have to
and be
train for that.
successful. Absolutely.
And of course, I'm going to throw these out there again. If you can see them, you can look me up on Amazon or hit me up on Facebook. Um, Always looking for new things to do. And
Absolutely.
I'm very thankful for you all today, all those who commented and called in. Sorry I couldn't get to you all, but hopefully next time you tune in, we'll be able to do that for you. I'll figure out what's wrong with my phone why I couldn't see them. But until then, I would like to tell you thank you very much for
Thank you
coming
for having me.
and being a part of this show today. And looking forward to doing it again. Giving another shout out to Out of the Mud Inc., George F. Grundy II, and James Mayfield, the greatest Mayfield. Also, Larry Lott in the house. And then a shout out to MUA Jock for all your beauty needs. Book with her. Makeup.ismylife.com. Once again, this is Terralisa with
And Precious S. Brown.
Precious S. Brown.
Yes, honey. Use my S because there's some imposters out there.
Ooh, all right, y'all.